How's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning into this video, and I hope that this might be helpful to you. I just was actually in a conversation with somebody yesterday, and it made me think of this topic. I want to know what you think at the end of it, so please feel free to leave your comments. And if you're not familiar with my channel, then my channel just talks about different subjects and topics of interest for Christians. And so today I'm going to talk about something that, to tell you the truth, I'm not honestly that confident in my knowledge of it, but I do know at least enough to know that to know where I stand on the issue. But I was writing today. I'm working on this new book called Past the Lens. And so it talks about the different ways that people see the world and worldviews and topics of interest for Christians. So kind of what my channel's all about. And so today I'm talking about, I was writing about the nature of deception. And so this is going to be just a question basically for us as Christians to really think about, because I don't know if I have the complete answer to it, but I think it really gets to the heart of Calvinism and Reformed theology. And it has to do with the question about what faith is and what repentance is and what salvation is. And so kind of a few things went into my head as I was writing this. Last night I had a conversation with a Calvinist, and we were talking about a number of different things, and he was very well versed, had his knowledge of the scriptures that kind of he supposes backed Reformed theology. And so we had a good chat for about 15 minutes. I had to leave, but I wanted to talk some more with him. So I was kind of like in the back of my mind, I have to go, and so it was kind of hard to continue in that conversation. But today I was writing about the nature of deception, and I was just thinking, like, there's a very simple principle in what deception actually is, and it's the principle that once you realize that you're deceived, you're no longer deceived, and you can't know the truth and be deceived at the same time in a certain thing. And so because once you realize that it is a deception, you're going to turn away from the deception, right? And so it's kind of like that, because so a deception, we know about as Christians, we know about the root of deception, which came at the beginning with Adam and Eve. And deception crept in, and it gave people bad information. And so the realization of what deception is comes from that initial understanding of the lie, that the devil's the father of lies, right? And so that we have an anti-God lie that lives within us, every single person. And so that is behind all of humanity for all time. And so it contributes to everything in the entire world pattern. All our experiences, all our desires, all our ambitions are influenced by this. And so the devil's called multiple things. He's called the prince of the power of the air, the father of lies, and the god of this world. And what was the other one? I was just thinking. Well, those are enough for now. The father of lies means that he was before all the lies that came to us, and he kind of brought them about. And the prince of the power of the air kind of connotes influence to me, that he's able to influence us, because in this physical world, I don't want to sound too philosophical, but in this world, what is between us and everything else that we touch, taste, see, and feel? Well, it's air. And so air is the intermediary between us and everything else. So it's also what we breathe. So the prince of the power of the air, to me, connotes that the devil is very influential and so influential that to convince us that there is a deception that lives within us is so counterintuitive that it goes against like everything we see and understand, because it's like the air that we breathe, right? So to tell somebody, and then the ruler of this world shows that the devil's able to promise us power and ambitions and things that will come true for us, if we follow him. And it reminds me of when when the devil was tempting Jesus. Sorry, I should not make myself coffee before I do these videos, because then it's getting cold, so I'm drinking it, and that's why I'm drinking it. It's not because I would just let it sit there and do this video, but it's getting cold. So this all led me, just considering what this nature of deception is, which there's a lot more to this, led me to the understanding that an entire person's being is invested in this worldview, in this way that, and everything, their culture, their peers, sometimes their family, their careers, everything is reaffirming of this, everything around us. And so it keeps our momentum going in that direction. You remember what Jesus said about the wide road that many travel on. And so we keep going in this direction, and that's kind of a spiritual thing. And there's literally, this is what's cool about the gospel, is that there's no way for me as a human being to intervene and to stop somebody from traveling in that direction perpetually, because I don't have the physical or spiritual strength to bring that person's entire spiritual or physical momentum to a halt, to a complete halt. I do everything within my power to persuade and to compel and to reveal, and God does things within his power to persuade and to compel and to reveal to people as well. And so this just led me to this question, which I think is at the heart of what Calvinism is. And it's very, I would say, very provocative and controversial, because here, I'm just trying to give you a visualization of this. You have a person who's traveling down a path. Now, and we know that in our own strength, we have no ability to stop this person. Their entire momentum, I think, is a good word for it, because everything around them and in them is pushing them in the same direction. And so, yeah, we bring the gospel, and the gospel is intersecting and contradictory to this path, right? But but we don't have, like, no matter how strong or smart we are, we don't have that ability to stop them from traveling in that direction. And then I just kind of thought, like, well, that's impossible. But nothing's impossible for God, right? So God is the one that comes in and halts the person. And that made me think, really, because this talks about what repentance is, where you turn and follow Christ, right? And turn away from a life of sin, traveling down that wide road, and follow the narrow way and follow Christ. And so does Jesus come in and forcefully halt the person, just stop him and turn him around, like physically lift him up and turn him around and push him in the other direction? And I just thought that was the question of what it all is about, the whole debate of Calvinism and whatever is debating against Calvinism, whatever I am. So, and I just think it's a little bit, I think that he very well might, in some cases, stop people and miraculously, forcefully halt them. But I also think that to say that that's what happens with every believer is a little bit reductionist. I think that God, in some way, like, God reveals himself to us in ways so that we actually are, we come to an understanding that, yeah, we are deceived and that we need to turn and follow Christ. And so that's why, otherwise, why would Jesus even say, turn and follow me? Come and follow me, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. If he knew that it was just God's ability to take the person, stop him, turn him around, forcefully push him to follow them. And so, I don't know, I just thought that was an interesting kind of idea, and I wanted to keep this video at 10 minutes. So, and I think that it's something that we should consider, and I'm thinking about it. I'm not saying that explained it all, but it certainly is interesting to me. So I hope this video blessed you. Take care.